Wake up. Wake up, Stabadan. It's time. It's time to get back to work. Wake up, Samadan. It's time. Wake up. Wake up, Shadowdan. Wake up. It's time. Hello, Stabadan. I hope you've enjoyed your sleep. We've got lots of work to do and lots of big changes to digest. Now with Dragonflight just round the corner, we'll have to take stock at where we're at with our gold making. Now Stabadan here was doing very well with commodities flipping. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, things have changed drastically with the commodities market. Now with the auction house, if we swap to the normal auction house and you look at some of the things we have here, say like tide sprayed linen, basically anything that stacks is classed as a commodity. And commodities have changed drastically in that they are now region-wide, not just one server, but all the servers have combined all their auctions together. You can see here in the tooltip just how drastic the changes are. In my price history here, purchased at an average price of 72 silver and sold for an average price of 2 gold 82, whereas now you look at the min buyout prices 35 silver and 22 silver, but in reality it's actually much lower than that. Obviously this one here is one to watch out for because that's a bait price, but you can see the main price here at 36,000 quantity, 35 silver. So one of the big things, one of the big changes, all our commodities flipping that we were doing before is kind of not really relevant anymore. But no matter, we can find new ways to make gold. The great positive of this region-wide auction house means that if you put something on, it's got a very good chance of selling almost immediately, even if it's at rock bottom prices. So if we use the standard interface here, it's probably better to use the standard interface now for commodities rather than using TSM because it just takes so long to scan through everything. So I'm going to post on 500 of these, and our motes of harmony at 13 gold, we'll create an auction there, and our blackened dragon scales. Now this is not a stackable item, so this is something that we can still sell. Girdle of the Harmonious, but looking here there's nothing to compare it with, so we'll just keep that for the moment. We have a battle pet here as well, which is also server wide, so that's absolutely fine. We can create that auction. And fool's cap, let's pop that on. So that's the limited things we have left in our bags. Now obviously it was quite unexpected when I suddenly stopped playing last time, and so I didn't save anything in my mailboxes, so those have long since expired. So all I have is the gold in my pocket and what I've got in my inventory. So this is in effect very much a fresh start. We are sitting here at 154,000 gold, mainly here on Stabadan at 83,000. The token price is looking at 233,000. I expect that to gradually creep up over the next month, and when Dragonflight releases I expect probably a sharp decline. It depends when the raid comes out and what other games Blizzard release at the time, so it's by no means guaranteed. But that's something to consider. We are here, I've kind of got just limited add-ons at the moment. I haven't done anything with the new interface and everything like that. We're not really needing to worry about that too much here. So let's have a think about what we can do here. So my auctions are on as it is, just a few items there at the moment. Nothing very current here, so these may or may not sell quickly or not in terms of stock levels. Let's go have a look and see if there's anything in our bank. We do have some herb parts, they're probably not that useful. Schematic and a couple of boxes that we haven't unpicked yet. So we'll leave those for the moment. These I doubt will sell as well, but we might as well try and sell what we've got. Let's just grab that and pop these on. So I'll just use the standard interface here just to go through and pop these on. Very few items here. I'll just post them on for whatever price they're going on here, just manually putting them on. There we go. Our first sale, tide spray linen sold for 35 silver. The benefits of the region-wide commodities is that you do get very quick sales, which is great for farming, which is something that we can consider for Samadan a bit later. So there we go, couple of sales, incoming amount, not a lot of gold. Obviously the prices have really crashed down here, but I'll take anything for the moment. We'll have to see what we're going to do next in terms of flipping. There could be things we could look at in terms of bind on equip items. The main way we're going to be able to make gold really with our characters here is still finding areas where we can make something or turn something into something else for a greater profit. So we're going to look into that in a bit more detail in future episodes. At the moment, we're just going to take a stock of where we're at now, making note of the changes and seeing what we can do next. So looking at our TSM groups we had before, the commodities, flippings and the Pandarian materials, these are pretty much out of the question for now. So I'm actually going to go through and just start a fresh new profile and reset the current default profile to nothing. So there we have a nice fresh clean slate with our TSM. We still will be using TSM, but for now we're going to reassess our gold making methods. So obviously the goal here was originally to make enough gold to at least pay for the token each month. We're going to have to reset our thinking on that and get ourselves set up. I think my strongest chances here are going to be professions, although in the interim I can probably use gathering as a way to make a decent amount of gold. So let's swap over to Samadan and have a look at where he's at. Goodbye for now, Stabadan. I'm sure we'll be making use of you, perhaps even leveling you soon. Hello, Samadan. I hope you've had a nice long rest. So let's have a look at you and where you're at in terms of gold making. Now, you were our farming character, so you were going out and mining and herbing your way through whilst earning some levels. You are currently level 47, mainly done through gathering of late. And let's look at see if you've got anything actually on you at the moment. Mist piercing goggles. Nothing actually other than Darkmoon Firewater. Again, a stackable item is a commodity now, so we'll keep hold of that though, because that's going to be useful for our farming. But you can see there, min biot is currently 49 gold. Let's just have a look and see what kind of price that is at the moment. So it is looking at 44 gold at the moment. So there is a potential for flipping something like this. I don't know what the standard price is going to be, but it's probably still in a reasonable amount of demand. The smart average buy price was 63. Obviously that doesn't count anymore. That could be a good test of the flipping market to see how it is. Let's see if we can buy some. Let's make that a favourite. Have a look here. So we could, in theory, depending on the auction house fees, maybe try and reset this market. Although to be fair, once you calculate the auction house fees and something like this, it's probably not worth it, but we'll go give that a go just to try things out. This just gives you an example. Small quantity items you may still get some luck with. So that was 23. Let's have a look, see if we can actually sell those for more. So if we put them on for, what did we buy them for? 1,022. If we sold them at this price, our total price is 1,132. Then you take the auction house fee into account, which is probably going to be, what's that, 5%? So that's going to be 10% would be 113 gold, so that'll take about 60 gold off of that amount, 1,070, so you're probably making about 50 gold would be the average on that. If we went up to 1155, there's not really much in that, so let's change that down to 12 hours, affects our deposit fee very slightly, create an auction on those. And this will be an interesting indication of whether that's actually going to make us any gold. But small gains in a very small flip there. But we may still be able to do that from time to time. But I'm thinking mainly the commodities market is out. We're really going to think about gathering with Samadan here. See if we can get ourselves a little bit further along with that. Now, I don't have the GatherMate data or anything like that on at the moment, and the add-on Worth It is yet to be updated, so we'll be looking at that in a bit more detail once add-ons have had a chance to update and we can see what's actually worth going out in the world and seeing if we can actually go and farm something. But there could be some good possibilities here for Samadan to level up and collect some herbs and ore along the way. Just depends on the price of said items. So we'll be coming back to you as well, Samadan, don't you worry. Let's have a look at Shadowdan. Goodbye for now. Hello, Shadowdan. You look very well rested. Let's have a look and see where you're at in terms of gold making and what your plans are. Now, last time we looked at Shadowdan, he was doing some professions. So last time we were leveling up some tailoring and some enchanting. Now enchanting is pretty much mainly commodities markets only now, so the profit margins on those are quite slim, and we do have a little bit of progression here. And on Shadowlands tailoring, we're at 61 of 100. We could possibly make a small profit on a few of these items. Shrouded cloth gear, maybe a few bags if the margins are right there. Shrouded cloth bag looks like it could be a possible. We'll have to look into that a little bit more detail. This is the new professions interface, which we're going to be looking at in a great deal come Dragonflight, because professions is the big focus of Dragonflight, and I think some really exciting things are coming up with that. But at the moment, we're looking like we don't have a lot quite available at the moment. Lightless silk pouch would probably be the next best thing we could do here. Possibly min buyout currently saying 276. Crafting costs, I'd have to work that out manually. We might be able to make a little bit there. Regional sale average is still quite good. So there could be some good options here. Some professions have been hit harder by the combined auction house than others. So anything that's a commodity, things like alchemy, enchanting, and a lot of inscription, have suffered most from the commodities change, and the profit margins on those are very, very slim. But other professions which still have some region-wide gear, like the tailoring, armor crafting, and professions that might have mounts as well. Jewel crafting and engineering has some very good options there as well. So we're going to look into this probably a little bit more detail. We're currently sitting at 52,000 gold here. Now we do have quite a lot of resources on us at the moment. This was whilst we're leveling up our tailoring. It might be worth just putting some of these on the auction house and see if we can reset the prices on things. Obviously our purchase prices are not necessarily going to be representative of what the current market is, because our smart average buy price of 1 gold 75, for example, is not really anything like the current min buyout of 44 silver. So it might be better to put all those on the auction house and reset some of our items. That way we can get a little bit of gold in our banks as well. So let's try some of these items. Lightless silk, 1 gold 30 is the new price. See, that's at 10 silver. I'm thinking 25 silver is probably a better point. If you really look at things, 47 silver is probably even better than that. Again, people are trying to bait other people into posting things for small prices, and there may be some vendor shuffles that are possible when you do get items for a low enough price. So you might want to look out for a few bargains and see if there's something you can do with that. I'm going to just come in here at 45 silver, I think. This seems a good price, 292 for the ember silk. So I'm going to pop those on. The nether weave, again looking quite good. Now the bolts of linen cloth possibly won't sell so much, but we'll grab some of these. At this point, now with the auction house as it is, rather than stockpiling all these items, which is what I used to do, it's actually better to buy as needed and not keep a great amount of stock on you. That way you're reacting to current prices a little bit more. There goes our first sale. Let's carry on with everything else. Now some of these meats and things that go below vendor sell price. Look at that, 7 silver, and the vendor sell price is 6 silver 25. So for some of these it's actually just as easy to vendor them. See, that's a big jump there, 2 gold to 19 gold. Be very tempted to buy those up. Eternal crystals are very, very cheap right now, as are sacred shards. All of these are just so much cheaper than they were before. But we might get a few fast sales. You heard them chirping through as I was just listing these on. Okay, that's those all posted on, and you can see already a few different things coming in already. The ember silk cloth there, 417 gold. Desolate leather there. A few other bits and pieces, nothing huge, but at least gives us a little bit of gold and resets our mental thought on how we're going to think about our prices and how we're going to get our materials. At this point it will be much easier just to keep a limited stock and just buy it as we need it at the current prices. If you can get the odd little bargain here or there, then that's great. We can either flip it or we can turn it into something else that's going to hopefully give us a profit. So we do have a few options here. So I think with Shadowdan, currently at level 58, so we're not too far off of actually getting up to maximum level at the moment. So my first course here would be to level up to 60, finish off the story campaign and get that wrapped up so that we can unlock it for other characters. And then moving on from here, I would probably carry on with our professions. Tailoring, I would look to see if I could max that out, see if I can get a few armor sales. There's no point going into legendaries at this late in the game, and some of the armor sales are really going to be just for people who are leveling alts and things like that. So there are options here in terms of some last minute gold. If we had max level characters, my recommendation now would be to be doing as much as I could with the mission tables, because that's a good steady amount of gold if you have a large amount of max level characters. Unfortunately, in my case, I don't have any max level characters, so we're just going to stick with what we've got for the moment. But promising times are ahead. I'm so happy to return to this series, and I'm looking forward to Dragonflight coming out with all the professions coming and seeing what we can do with the new ways of making gold. So that's a recap on where we're at. I hope you forgive me for leaving this series so abruptly last time, and I look forward to what we can learn in this new phase and this new era of gold making. So until next time, happy gold making, and I'll see you very soon.